We're now going to go live to my brother, Jordan Sekulow, who's coming to us live from Mar-a-Lago, as you can see.
So we are back with CPAC again. Last week, we had the summit to end Christian persecution, focusing on getting Nigeria on the CPC list. And of course, on Friday, after the summit, after the meetings at the White House, after work by the ACLJ since 2011, but since beginning of the Trump administration to reverse what the Biden administration did, President Trump put Nigeria back on the CPC, and we're back with CPAC. We're here at Mar-a-Lago to talk to CPAC supporters that will be supporting this new effort to end Christian persecution that the ACLJ is partnering with CPAC about. So I'm coming down to actually talk about what we did just last week in Washington with this new effort to fight Christian persecution around the world together with CPAC, and what we plan to do in the future.
Jordan, I know you just got done speaking on a panel, which is great, and that you're able to join us. But when you also take a look and listen at the people that you're meeting with, that you're speaking with, we know for our audience, for the ACLJ donor, that Christian persecution worldwide has been something that they have been very in touch with and been focusing on and wanting us to continue the fight. But it's not necessarily been a mainstream, broad issue. But we're starting to see that change. And what are you hearing from the people at CPAC, both last week and this weekend, as you're in the room, about this issue and how we can really bring it to the forefront to end persecution?
First, you tell the stories of persecution, where it's worse, what can be done in each place. Each place is a little different. Some things can be done quickly. Some things will take a longer effort. But I think that's why we joined this coalition, Will, exactly what you said. We know our supporters care deeply about this issue of Christian persecution worldwide. They know how difficult it is, whether we're talking about individuals or whether we are talking about entire groups like a place like Nigeria. But we know that we've got to take this message to the broader conservative audience, but also the broader Christian audience in America. And a lot of this will hub out of the United States because we have that freedom to kind of be that hub for the other organizations that are joining us, like ECLJ, who are in Europe and places that aren't always as friendly, but they can still do a lot and have done a lot to fight for those who are truly being persecuted. When we talk about persecution, Will, we're talking about taking of lives. We're talking about the fact that 32 people today will be killed in Nigeria because they're a Christian. So while we're speaking, more than half of that number, already their life has been lost. That's just the average number in Nigeria. That's a normal day. And then, of course, you look at the persecution we see all throughout the Congo. We've talked about these issues. Each one takes a unique approach. When you put these groups together, we all have a lot of pull with this current government in the United States, with the White House. We're here at Mar-a-Lago having this summit. That says a lot right there. And then also with our leadership in the House, Speaker Johnson, and of course, Leader Thune. So we have a unique moment as organizations to come together and do a lot to end this persecution.
Jordan, I did want to get your thoughts also. Obviously, it was a big night last night. I guess big is relative in terms of good or bad from it. But what are the thoughts on the ground there at CPAC about the election? Obviously, that happened throughout the country. There's massive sweeping, obviously, Democrats taking most of it. Is there any thoughts or conversations happening there about, well, what do we do over the next couple of years to course correct?
Well, I think we know New York is difficult. New Jersey is difficult. We know that those are tough places to go. But at the same time, and Virginia usually flips back and forth. So we have to make sure, again, that I think it's very key that we don't get discouraged. These were tough places to win. And though New York, it went extreme, especially with Mandami, extreme to this Democrat socialist, then there's that much fight to do in New York City. Virginia kind of goes back and forth. We see this pretty often there, but it's now a place we need to put more resources as a conservative movement. And New Jersey, we've been close a couple times. We've won a couple times, but it's not an easy one for Republicans either. So I wouldn't get too disheartened. It wasn't like we were losing in states we were supposed to win. It was just the polls that tightened and didn't get the Republicans over the line.
Yep. All right. Will, you got something here?
I think he covered that.
You covered a lot of it.
Great
we know we need
Jordan.
to let you go because you're obviously spending a lot of time there, and we know there's a lot coming up next, but you'll be back in the studio, though, to give everybody an update soon. Look, I told our audience here earlier that this was, even though you're there in Florida right now at CPAC, this is just another part of the expansion of our Washington, D.C. group. So again, that's at our Washington, D.C. office, which is expanding significantly right now, as well as our media center. You got to make sure we have both of those covered. So thank you to Jordan for joining us live there from CPAC